Breaking Dani Alves has been sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison for sexual assault. It also includes 5 years of supervised release and in communication with the victim for 9 years, and 6 months.
Hi guys, this is Kianen's 2 cents. Of course, it's no longer news that the former Brazilian footballer Dani Alves has been sentenced to 4.5 years imprisonment for sexually assaulting a lady, in 2022. So in this video, we want to, analyze the whole story and then say what we think about the crime and of course the sentence as well. But before then, let me just quickly bring us up to speed as to what has transpired over the last 2 years plus. Yeah, it happened in 2022. Actually, on the last day of that year, that's on the 31st day of December 2022, Dani Alves, alongside some of his friends, went to a nightclub, and then he ended up having a sexual relation with a lady in the bathroom. According to Alves, the sex was consensual. But then, if you had followed the trial over time, you would want to agree with the court that Dani Alves is guilty, because having looked at the whole trial myself, I realized that Dani Alves' stories weren't really adding up. Not that they weren't adding up, but he kept on changing his stories, as the trial proceeded, and it was evident that he was guilty, so to speak, even though he has come out to say that he's appealing the judgment. But as it stands, he's been convicted, of the crime, and he's been sentenced for 4.5 years. And not just 4.5 years. The judgment has it that even when he's released, he's going to be on probation for, I think, 5 years, and he's going to have a restraining order for, I think, about 9 years or so. So like I said before, his stories weren't really adding up from the start. Started by saying that he never knew who the lady is, But when more evidences were presented before him, he agreed that he knew the lady, but that nothing happened between both of them. And when further evidences were presented, he agreed that they had a sexual intercourse, or rather, they had a sexual relationship together in the bathroom. He started by saying that it was just an oral sex that the lady granted him. But then, with more evidences, he agreed that there was really a sexual intercourse, but then that it was consensual. So it became more of his own words against him, considering the evidences that the lady had presented. The lady stood to her own story, and her own story kept on making sense along the way. The lady started by saying that they both met at the club. Yeah, they both danced together, and yes, they both ended up in the bathroom. But when he wanted to make advances on her, she refused. And it was at that point that Dani Alves insisted, and started insulting her and slapped her, and then eventually raped her. Okay, and witnesses around show that when she came out, she was a bit injured, and she was visibly shaken. So this judgment took a period of, since 2022, this is 2024, so a period of like 2 years or 1 year plus. Okay, and it's been established that indeed Dani Alves is guilty of the crime. So now the big question is, these celebrities that end up in crimes like this, the big question I always want to ask is it that they are obsessed? Because I know that for someone of Dani Alves' stature, to get sex shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, he can easily pay for it. So why go ahead to rape a lady who is not willing. Okay, I know that for those who are rapists, serial rapists, they kind of, from what I heard, they kind of enjoy the fact that they are being resisted. So that's what gives them the joy in the sexual activity. But for someone of Dani Alves' stature and profile, I'd expected that if he wanted sex, then he should have gotten it without having to, rape someone. So that's what I think at this point. Like I said, he is willing to appeal it. He's ready to appeal the judgment. But I don't know how successful that is going to be. But as it stands, he is convicted. So I don't know what you guys think. Let's hear your own opinion in the comment section.